Autumn. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, the pumpkin spice is flowing, and the fashion is on point. But if you're an adult like me, then Halloween is a little bit of a different story. You can't really wear costumes to work. So this is how we're gonna make a Halloween wardrobe and refashion some t-shirts so that you can be festive this holiday season. First up is this t-shirt that I found that was a size medium, which is way too small, but it was the largest they had. So I'm going to cut out the design on the t-shirt, set it aside to put on a black t-shirt later, and then I'm going to cut and salvage up all the t-shirt material that I have left over. I'm going to use that throughout this video to help make all the other t-shirts that I have a little bit bigger. You see what I'm doing here is I'm basically just making side panels to sew on the sides of the t-shirts. Trimming off any excess and trying to trim them up and square them up so I can get as much t-shirt material as possible. Now here I'm cutting open all my t-shirts that are just a little bit too small, and I'm going to add in those side panels, so we're basically adding ease to them. Because something I have found with the Walmart t-shirts, because most of these t-shirts came from Walmart, is that they just don't have enough ease on them for people that are plus size like me. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a plain black t-shirt, I'm turning it inside out, I'm going to cut it down the middle, I'm going to lay it flat, one on top of the other, I'm going to check my fit here, and then I'm also going to square up the t-shirt on the side, try to avoid getting the design caught in there. So I'm going to cut that open. Now here's where I made a little bit of a mistake. I cut down the middle there when I should have kept it in, because I ended up having to add in another side panel later, but you'll see. But basically what I did is I used something round like an ice cream top, and I cut out little bat wings. And now here I'm pinning the design I did to another black t-shirt. Just pinned it all the way around so that I could sew it down on my machine later. And now I am pinning all those side panels to the sides of the t-shirts that I had cut open. Now here I'm pinning the bat wings that I made to the sides of the tee. And something I did, I tried to do French seams on most of these tees. I ended up doing just regular seams in some of them just to save on space. I think the little bat wing tee here, I just did a regular machine stitch because I didn't want it to mess up that design on the front too much. But you'll see later I had to actually add in side panels to this black tee because I ended up taking away some of the ease. So I had to add that back in by adding some purple side panels because that's the t-shirt material I had left. And that way you can still see the batwing design. Here's where I took a zigzag stitch and I just sewed all the way around the design on the black t-shirt. This is kind of the most simple thing you can do to fix a t-shirt that's too small for you and make it to your size. Now here what I'm doing is I'm just sewing down those side panels that we pinned to all of those t-shirts. And now I'm going to create my own t-shirt. I found this really cute ghost print material. And I cut that all out. I used an old t-shirt to create the design. And what I'm doing first is I'm sewing down all the hems. I try to do the hems first to just get those out of the way. I believe here's where I took some extra t-shirt material and I made facings for the neck hole and sewed that down. I didn't really show it very well. Now I'm using a French seam to sew together all of the seams on the shoulders. And I'll be using that on the sides as well. A French seam is a very simple seam. It's actually where you sew it wrong side to wrong side first. And then you trim it down and you sew kind of along that seam so that the edge is actually kind of encased in a nice clean finish inside. Now I'm cutting a little ghost shape out of some scrap paper to create a pattern pocket because I thought it was just the cutest idea, but you'll see I had a little trouble with it. So I took this white t-shirt material I had, white jersey net, and I'm going to get my iron ready. I'm going to iron that down. I'm going to use 2 layers here because it's a very thin t-shirt material. And that's where, and you see that's where I pinned down and sewed that neck hole there. I also sewed down my seams while I was at it. And I thought I kind of messed up on that little ghost, so I redid it, but I kept having problems with it, so I used the original. So I cut out the 2 layers of the jersey net. And I trimmed it up as best as I could just to make it a little even, the shape a little nicer. And then I also tried to make a little pocket because I thought that I might be able to sew the pocket to the shirt and maybe applique over that, or just sew a simple pocket onto it. I really double guessed myself here. So now I'm kind of zigzagging around the ghost shape just to kind of close that up and sew those 2 layers together. But what happened was the edges ended up being really lettuced bad. So they wouldn't exactly lay flat, and they just had a little curl to it, and that's what made me second guess myself. So I sewed down the edges of my little simple pocket to finish that up. And then I pinned down and sewed the pocket to the t-shirt. What I did is I measured down like about 7 inches from the side and 8 inches on the shoulder on another t-shirt I have that I like the design of. And that's how I got my pocket placement. But you'll see I somehow made this little pocket too small. I was trying to make it a little small just to kind of make it cute and stuff, but it still didn't look right. You'll see in a second what I mean there. But basically I just sewed down all the side seams there. And here's where I drew a little face. This is something you can do if you ended up liking it, because all the little ghosts on this fabric have little faces on them. That's what makes it so cute. And I used fabric markers here, and it's a cute idea in theory, but it didn't look really good. So I just kind of moved on from there, and I decided to sew on the sleeves, because usually what I would do is I would just cut out a big T for my t-shirt and then not have to worry about sewing on the sleeves to the side. It's just a little cheat I like to do with t-shirts. But the material I had wasn't exactly wide enough for that, so I had to make t-shirts, and I didn't make shaped t-shirts like you normally would. I just do straight triangles, just trying to make it as simple and easy as possible. I also kind of like that little shapeless look of the sleeves. So here I'm just sewing the sleeves onto the shoulder, onto the body of the t-shirt. Once again, I try to do a French seam to make everything nice and neat. And I iron down all my seams. ended up adding some more side panels to this one t-shirt that I made. And then I added all the side panels on these t-shirts. I didn't show the whole t-shirt because I just didn't have time. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Happy Halloween!